Visual pegs can also be used to remember lists such as shopping list, lists in various courseworks, recipe ingredient lists, and various other types of lists in the right order. Let us watch the list we would like to remember. The list is, at number 1 we have cup, at number 2 it is mobile, at number 3 it is a pen, at 4 we have a bottle, and at 5 the diary is there. The wallet comes at number 6, showpiece at 7, and a wristwatch at number 8. This seems to be a very trivial list of items a person might be keeping on his desk. You may say that it would be quite easy to recall all of them in one go. But if I say it to you that remember them now, remember the right sequence also, and then reproduce this after a week in exact the same order, many of you will not be able to do that without learning memory tricks. Let us start learning the visual peg tricks for memorizing such a list. Place the shape-based visual pegs in front of each of the list item. It would be stick in front of first item, duck in front of item number 2, heart against item 3, chair against item 4, hook in front of list item number 5, followed by hockey stick against item 6, then lamppost against item 7, and a pair of goggles against item 8, which is a wristwatch. Now, we shall build a connected story to remember this list with these pegs. Here is a story for the given list that follows the principle of absurdity. I use a stick to hit my cup, it breaks down. The broken pieces were thrown on a duck who was talking on a mobile phone. On my phone, I created the drawing of a heart using a pen. On a chair nearby, a bottle was hanging on the side on which a hook came down and dropped a diary. A hockey-like shadow was being formed on the wallet on the table, which was extending outside the window where, beneath a lamppost, an object similar to my table showpiece was thrown. Suddenly, the lights became very high and I had to use the dark goggles to see my wristwatch. Let us carefully revisit the story in our mind once again. I use a stick to hit my cup, it breaks down. The broken pieces were thrown on a duck who was talking on a mobile phone. On my phone, I created the drawing of a heart using a pen. On a chair nearby, a bottle was hanging on the side on which a hook came down and dropped a diary. A hockey-like shadow was being formed on the wallet on the table, which was extending outside the window where, beneath a lamppost, an object similar to my table showpiece was thrown. Suddenly, the lights became very high and I had to use the dark goggles to see my wristwatch. Be ready to remember the list now. I'll say the names of the pegs in the shape sequence order I already remember, and you will see that you will easily come out with the item name yourself. The shape sequence order is stick, duck, heart, chair, hook, hockey, lamppost, and a pair of goggles. Now remember something which was hit by a stick? Yes, you guessed right. It was surely the cup. The duck was doing what? Yes, you do remember that it was talking on a mobile phone. The heart was being drawn by what? It was surely a pen. What was hanging from side of chair? Yes, you are getting everything right. It was a bottle. And what was dropped by an hook? Again right, sir, it was a diary. The hockey-like shadow was falling on. Definitely. Your answer again matches the item. It is the wallet. beneath the lamppost, the object lying was the showpiece. And finally, you wore the goggles to look at the wristwatch. Isn't that magical that you recalled everything in the correct order? Now take a deep breath and wait for a minute and try to exercise again. You will be amazed that you recalled everything right again. Everyone passed this test if done with a little attention and in a little guided manner. I have done the real life tests on masses, and from a 10-year-old child to 95-year-old individuals passed it. If you rehearse this in a spaced manner, which means try it after 5 minutes and then after 15 minutes, you will remember it well in exact sequence, even after a day, and so much so even after a week, month or more. Next, we shall learn about loci, journey or memory palace method.